She made you look untouchable. But when the lights went out and the flash stopped clicking, your shine began to die. And by the time people noticed, it was already too late. If you're a girl in Abuja chasing beauty, clout, or validation, there's one name that makes you stop scrolling. Madame Ivy. She didn't run ads, didn't need one. Her work spoke louder than any influencer campaign. Every transformation she posted went viral. Dark spots vanished, cheekbones lifted, skin like melted honey. Brides, content creators, actresses, even corporate women found their way to her. The moment you stepped out of her studio, life shifted. Her touch wasn't just makeup, it was a rebirth. My best friend Nenah found her first, I remember clearly. One hot evening, she shoved her phone into my face. "Riri, this woman is a miracle worker." I rolled my eyes. "Another makeup artist again?" "No, I'm serious. Look at this before and after. Now the same person, oh." I leaned closer. She wasn't lying. The girl and the before looked normal, cute, fine even. But the after? She looked like she belonged on a magazine cover. Skin glowing like glass, lips luscious, eyes sparkling, hair slicked back like she was born famous. "They say she uses her own product," Nenah whispered, lowering her voice like it was a secret. "She calls it Radiant Clay. Only available if you book her privately." "You want to go?" I asked. She didn't answer, which meant yes. Nenah had been chasing online fame for months. Soft life vlogs, skincare routines, GRWM videos, but her engagement stayed low. Her effort was solid, her looks beautiful, but she wanted that it's factor. She believed Ivy could give her that. And honestly, I believed it too. Not because of Ivy, but because of Nenah's desperation. The next morning, she sold her iPhone 13 Pro Max, added her savings, and booked a session. Ivy's studio wasn't listed on Google. No signboard, no calls, no address until you paid. Her lowest package, 170,000 naira, non-refundable. Nenah didn't hesitate. That evening, she returned glowing. Literally. She stood before me in our shared apartment, her face radiant under the dull bulb light. She wasn't just beautiful. She looked expensive, like someone who didn't queue at the airport. "Can you believe this face is mine?" she asked, twirling like a model. I touched her cheek. It was smooth, almost unreal. Her eyes, though, held a kind of distance. I said, "You look incredible." She grinned and pulled out her phone. "Look at this." Her video from earlier that day already had 30,000 views. Comments flooding in. "This glow is not from this world. Filter or juju? Drop the plug, please." By midnight, Nenah had gained over 12,000 followers. She fell asleep smiling that night, her phone lighting up every few seconds with new notifications. 6 days later, everything began to crack. It started with a whisper at 2 a.m. "Riri, something's wrong." At first, I thought she was overreacting, but then she said something strange. "I feel like people can't see me." "What do you mean? You're trending." "Not online," she muttered. "In real life." She hugged her knees on the bed, her eyes swollen. She continued, "I went to ShopRite today. Nobody looked at me, not one compliment. Even the cashier who used to flirt didn't notice me. It's like I wasn't there." I looked at her closely. She looked the same, no, even more flawless. Maybe people were just minding their business, I thought. But then I started noticing it too. She'd walk into a room and people's eyes would skim past her. No one stared anymore, no one greeted. Even our chatty neighbor Blessing barely said hi. Then came the silence online. Her followers began to drop. First hundreds, then thousands. Likes dwindled, comments slowed. The same brands that had been begging to collaborate suddenly stopped replying. A skincare company even canceled a paid deal. And yet Nenah still looked divine, but the air around her had shifted, too still, too hollow. Then came the mirror night. We were dressing up to go out. I stood before our full-length mirror fixing my wig. Nenah stood behind me, brushing her hair. But when I looked at the reflection, she wasn't there. My heart nearly stopped. I turned around. She was still behind me, very real, still brushing her hair. I turned back. Nothing. I screamed. "What happened?" she asked. You weren't in the mirror." She froze. "What?" I grabbed her arm. "I swear, Nenah, you weren't there." She ran to the mirror, staring. Her reflection appeared again, but her hands trembled. "I'm not crazy," she whispered. "You saw it too." That was when I began to believe this wasn't makeup anymore. Something had been taken from her. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept scrolling through Ivy's page. Every girl she touched looked radiant, yes, but I realized I'd seen them before. Not online, but in real life, at events, on blogs, and then they'd just vanish. One by one. Their pages went silent, some went private, some deleted all posts, others completely disappeared from the internet. Something told me they hadn't just faded, they had been drained. So I decided to find one of them. There was this girl, Amara. She used to be everywhere, fashion reels, product collabs, PR boxes, but her last post was 8 months ago, taking a break. She never returned. After 2 days of asking around, I found her. She was selling thrift clothes by the roadside near Garki Market. "Hi," I said gently. "Are you Amara?" She looked up, startled. Her face was familiar but dull, like someone had dimmed her brightness. "Yes," she said, cautiously. I told her who I was and that I wasn't looking for clout. I just wanted to know what happened. She hesitated, then sighed and invited me into her small kiosk. "When Ivy did my face," she began, "I thought I had arrived." Her story was identical to Nenah's. The viral post, the fame, then the silence. "After a while, it was like people forgot me existed," she said. "I'd walk into places and it was like I was invisible. Brands ghosted me, my engagement died, even my boyfriend stopped seeing me." Her eyes filled with tears. "I still looked beautiful, but inside, I felt hollow." "What do you think she took?" I asked. Amara met my eyes. "She didn't take my beauty. She took my light." Those words echoed in my head all night. She took my light. Not beauty, not fame, something deeper. By dawn, I had built a list. The girls who faded. I wrote their names, handles, when they went viral, when they disappeared, who painted their faces. By sunrise, I had 21 names. And it wasn't just Ivy. There was Zyra Artistry in Porticott, Tanya Lux in Ikasia, Glow Temple in Maitama, all private studios, all expensive, all with clients who eventually dimmed. A pattern. It wasn't makeup. It was a ritual. I checked Nenah's account again. Her glow still shone, but her page looked dead. Engagement gone, DMs silent. I thought of what Amara said. They only choose girls with something special. "What something?" I asked. "Your star, your destiny, your energy. They see it and they collect it."